Next on Worcester News Tonight, a driver is killed in a rollover accident on Interstate 495, the highway reopening this evening. Plus, a public call for more open dialogue in Worcester between minority communities and the police. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Andy Lacombe. Temperatures cooling off a little tonight, but the weather is what many are talking about. It was a summer scorcher in central Mass today, and the weekend looks to be warm as well. Temperatures are expected in the high 80s and low 90s this weekend. The heat and humidity today caused an air quality alert for some parts of the state. And for those who worked outside in the heat, they needed to find ways to cool off.
Well, they got to drink a lot of water. They got to stay hydrated, and we get them outside, out of the truck every half hour to 45 minutes, especially when we're doing a big venue and we're working really hard. But we use fans to blow as much of the heat out of the truck as we can. And then we just get used to it. Can't stand the heat, get out of the truck.
Hot day for a hot dog, or some ice cream perhaps. We'll have a complete check of our forecast a little later on with meteorologist Pete Bouchard. The president of the Worcester chapter of the NAACP says it's time to turn grief into action, and work needs to be done to improve how the police and minority communities relate to each other. The organization joined Worcester's Black Clergy Alliance today to call for a more open dialogue and an end to violence. Our Cam Jandro reports.
In wake of two police-involved shootings and the ambush attack on officers in Dallas, Worcester's Black Clergy Alliance says it's important to improve relations between the police and the minority community.
So there's a solution to our problem. But if we cannot come and sit down together to talk about it, we'll never find them.
Joined by the Worcester chapter of the NAACP, Reverend Eso Vance called for a dialogue to address what they call a systematic problem between law enforcement officers, minorities, and blacks. The group says they don't believe that all officers act with malicious or biased intentions, but there must be change for all.
The time has come and passed. We must put an end to the violence on all sides. We must work together for peace, for harmony, and for all people.
According to The Guardian, the rate of police-involved deaths for black males was 5 times higher than that of whites as of last year. Both groups say they are looking to pass new legislation to ensure humane, sensible, and comprehensive practices for law enforcement across the nation.
The NAACP is urging Congress to pass Law Enforcement Trust and Integrity Act, the End Profiling Act. Locally, we're pushing for body and dash cameras and civilian review boards. Black lives matter as much as any other lives, including our men and women in blue uniforms.
Cam Jandro, Worcester News Tonight.
The Black Clergy Alliance also making recommendations including enhancing sensitivity training around race relations between minorities, black males, and law enforcement officers. They also called for town hall meetings with neighborhood groups and community leaders. State police confirm a 38-year-old man from East Boston has died after a rollover crash on Interstate 495. The man was driving a dump truck when the crash occurred in Littleton. This was the scene in the northbound lanes of 495 this afternoon. 4 vehicles were involved. 3 other people were taken to the hospital for treatment. The cause, according to state police, is under investigation. Worcester police released the name of the elderly woman killed after being hit by a dump truck Thursday, and today neighbors are remembering the mother of 14. 81-year-old Patricia LeMay was killed yesterday when she got pinned underneath a dump truck on Ernst Avenue. A day later, black tire marks marked the spot where the incident happened. Neighbors say LeMay lived in the area and took walks on the street on occasion.
Hello, how are you? Beautiful day, you know, just conversation as a person passing by. And I see where she lives, I know where she lives. And ironically, my son went to school with one of her sons, you know, and when they came down yesterday to see the disaster area.
The crash still under investigation. The driver of the truck wasn't injured but was hospitalized because police say he was traumatized by what happened. Overseas, France is dealing with another act of terror within its border, the latest happening last night in Nice. At least 84 are dead, and that number is expected to rise. And in the meantime, in Boston, the French community celebrating Bastille Day this evening under high security. Our Michael Rosenfield has the story.
French flair in the Back Bay. Bastille Day celebrated in Boston Friday night.
It was great. There's a lot of enthusiasm. People were in high spirits, even considering the events last night in Nice. It was a very nice gathering.
Our thoughts go out to the victims of this terrible attacks and their families.
Brief remarks followed by a moment of silence acknowledged the attacks in France, the terror on the minds of many here.
It was so beautiful. It was bittersweet, of course, because France is mourning after the horrific events that happened in Nice. But we still wanted to come.
Security was tight, dump trucks placed on both ends of the block party, a response to what happened in Nice, sources tell NAACP. Only those with tickets could enter the party. IDs were checked and backpacks, large bags, and strollers were not permitted. Hundreds of people in a tightly packed area, something residents who live on Marlborough Street were thinking about. Any concerns about security right outside your house with so many people here?
We thought a little bit about it this morning. We stopped by the French Cultural Center to see if it was still on, and they said yes, absolutely. And I actually went for a run this morning about 6 o'clock and met a police officer in the back alley doing patrols, and I think they've been going all day, which made me feel a lot more comfortable, actually.
Michael Rosenfield reporting. Worcester's Islamic community is condemning the attack in France and is speaking out against comments made by former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, who reportedly called for a litmus test for all Muslims living in the U.S. The Islamic Society of Greater Worcester and the Worcester Islamic Center say it goes against the fabric of the nation. Adding in a statement, the Greater Worcester area Muslims' thoughts and prayers are with all victims and their families affected by this tragedy. We stand united with all humankind against murder and violence directed toward innocent people. An autopsy reveals a woman found dead inside her Grafton home earlier this year died of manual strangulation. Michael Sugarman is charged with killing his wife Kelly in April. Police were alerted to her death after the couple's 5-year-old daughter was discovered wandering on a street nearby. Sugarman appeared in court today where his attorney argued he is not competent to stand trial and not guilty plea was entered on his behalf. Sugarman is due back in court next month. The cause of a June fire inside a turkey farm in Lancaster has been determined. The state fire marshal finds the fire at Bob's Turkey Farm was caused by either a mechanical or electrical failure of a newly installed propane-fueled heat lamp. 7,000 turkeys were killed on the fire on June 30th. The farm is rebuilding. A big party tonight going on right now in Worcester to help a mother battling cancer. Her family says while her diagnosis may not be positive, their outlook is. And now many are working to make sure she and her children live life to the fullest. Brittany Schaefer has her story.
She's only 37 years old, and for this kind of to happen, it was really beyond any of our comprehension.
Melissa Peters Gonzalez was diagnosed with inoperable stage 4 cancer this winter. Her brother says doctors told her she didn't have a lot of time left.
She was devastated. Wondering what she was going to do with her children, and wondering just really what to do in life.
I couldn't believe it. Like somebody that we went to high school with. Like, she's my age, she's our age, and it shocked me.
Melissa's brother, Joe Peters, says their family and friends were in complete shock, but now they are doing everything they can to give her lifelong memories.
And I said, all right, put it down, we're gonna make like a bucket list, and we just started rattling off.
Gonzalez has already made a dent in her bucket list by going parasailing and to a Red Sox game. She is still hoping to go indoor skydiving, to Italy, and to meet Madonna.
It's really to make the memories. So when she goes out to dinner, she's not going out to dinner by herself. She's going out to dinner with family or friends or whatever, and she's making the memories.
I just wanted her to have the best summer and the best time with her girls, and that was the main reason why I think we all did this.
Tonight, friends and family are holding a fundraiser at the White Eagle in Worcester to help raise money for the bucket list.
Everybody's donations have been absolutely amazing. They've been coming in daily.
she's really looking forward to it. She wrote it on Facebook, you know, how she's really excited to see everyone.
Brittany Schaefer,